In the first game of 2023, Rangers took on Celtic in a game that was labelled a must-not-lose for the Gers. The game finished 2-2, and many Rangers fans would have walked away from that match feeling that they were unfortunate not to get all 3 points. In today's video, we're going to discuss the 5 things we learned from the match, but also take a look at the January transfer window, as Rangers are linked with some players, and it is certain that the club will spend this winter. There is so much to cover in today's video. And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Before we get into today's video, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. We are 3 days into the January transfer window, and reports from down south are reporting that the club could make a move for Wolverhampton Wanderers defender Dion Sanderson this winter. Michael Beale has made no secret of the need to improve his squad at Ibrox, both in the short term and the long term. Sanderson could be well one of those who are Rangers bound. Currently on loan at Birmingham City, the centre-back who can play as a right-back is said to have been watched by Ross Wilson and top Ibrox scout John Park last week. The 23-year-old very nearly crossed paths with Michael Beale at QPR, however left just prior to his arrival during the summer. Birmingham have already made it clear that they want to buy Sanderson from parent club Wolves, where his deal runs until 2025. So if Rangers were to up their interest, they would face competition from the Championship club. Rangers have been short of defensive options so far this season. The likes of Philippe Hollander and John Souttar have been long-term absentees, while Connor Goldson and Ben Davies have both endured spells on the treatment table too. That has resulted in many makeshift partnerships at the back, mainly featuring Leon King, James Sands and John Lundstrom. So a new defensive addition would be a welcome one for Rangers. Dion Sanderson has made 24 appearances for Birmingham so far this season. Rangers returned back to action on Monday as they drew with Celtic 2-2. Celtic took the lead early on through Dazen Maida and had the Hoops 1-0 up at the break. Rangers responded greatly though in the second half, equalising through Ryan Kent before taking the lead with a James Tavernier converting a penalty. Rangers though were unable to hold on to the lead as Kyogo Furuhashi equalised on the 88th minute to keep the gap at the top of the Scottish Premiership to 9 points. In this part of the video, we're going to discuss the 5 things we learned from Rangers 2, Celtic 2. Nightmare start. From the moment Joe Hart saved Ryan Kent's shot within the first minute, Celtic dominated the first half, and on 5 minutes it was a disaster for Rangers with an opener gifted to Dazen Maida. Alfredo Morelos played a horror blind pass into the Japanese forward, who bundled past a weak James Tavernier tackle before surging beyond Connor Goldson and putting it into the bottom corner. It was an awful sequence for Rangers and will have had Michael Beale and supporters majorly concerned, with the hosts unable to do the very basics in the first 45 minutes. Fortunately though, it would just remain a 1-goal deficit as Rangers railed to come back into contention in the closing stages. Morelos should have redeemed himself with a leveller, but was wasteful in front of goal. Kent was great. Ryan Kent's shot in the first few seconds of the match signalled his intent, and it seemed he would have been the man to make or break the game for Rangers. So many of the Gers players had an off day in the first half, and Kent didn't thrill, but there was always a feeling that he could be influential if given more of the ball as the match wore on. Kent is often criticised for his output, and particularly so in the big matches, but he stepped up when he was needed at Ibrox. Given a sight of goal in the second half, and Kent curled expertly in the far corner past the despairing Joe Hart in the Celtic goal. It was a tremendously taken goal and highlighted that Kent is still a great player when he is at the top of his game. Sakala, one of the standouts. Fashion Sakala was perhaps a surprise inclusion in the Rangers lineup. It maybe even raised a few eyebrows when he tugged back out for the second half after a difficult opening 45 minutes. However, Sakala was in inspired form in the second half and was a driving force in the Rangers team to force Celtic back in a standout performance. He battled against Greg Taylor in the first half, but found his real joy against Josip Juranovic, who replaced him after 20 minutes. It was Sakala's incisive running which created the first goal as he fed Kent on the left-hand side of the box. Shortly after, Sakala was at it again to a race into the box by being fouled by Carl Starfelt, allowing James Tavernier to convert a penalty. Half-time inspiration. Whatever Michael Beale said at the interval worked. His side looked well off the pace and without a chance as outside total hopes faded without a trace. But in the second 45 minutes, Rangers were a completely different team, committed, determined and full of quality for the most part. Ryan Kent and Fashion Sakala were electric, and the energy provided after Kent's opener only boosted the work rate and desire in the Rangers' ranks in the second period. It seemed there would, against the odds of the first half, only be one winner after a team talk from Beale. The Ibrox boss had conjured up a super second half showing which shows the true quality within the Rangers' ranks. The title race isn't over yet. There's no doubt Michael Beale would have thought Rangers was in with a shot of a remarkable league comeback should his side have held on, but a draw doesn't end the league as a contest. Make no mistake about it, Celtic are still within control of their lead, but with 18 matches still to be played, and 2 of those against Celtic, a lot can change at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Ben Davies has revealed the keep believing message from Michael Beale that inspired Rangers to transform their fortunes against Celtic at Ibrox. Davies said, "We struggled a little bit to get going, not in terms of desire, but to get our passing going. Towards the end of the first half, we started to get a bit more territory and to play around their box a bit more. At half time, the manager sat us down and put that belief in us so we could go out and perform better. We turned it around within 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, which was really pleasing. Obviously, we're all disappointing that we didn't get the win, but I do think there's signs that we are going in the right direction. The manager put the belief in us, he just sat us down and said that we can do a lot better than we're showing. But I think we're together. When we went into the dressing room, we were on the same page. Inside all of us, we all believed we could turn the game around and did that fairly quickly. But we're all disappointed we didn't see it through when we were that close. The belief was there from the start, but obviously it's an old firm, and it's hard to get your passes together and get your foot in the game. The way that we started the second half, we were absolutely terrific, and I think we showed that what we can do." Beale remains unbeaten as boss after 5 matches in charge, and Davies knows the only way must be up after a wretched first half of the season that left Rangers well off pace in the Premiership. Davies continued, "I think since the manager has come in, he's made it clear we're going in one direction, and that's forward. We're not going to stand off anyone, and we're going to show who Rangers are. He wants to take us back to some of the performances the boys put in before. That's what we're trying to do going forward. It's the same as before the game in the table. Obviously, we had the chances today to cut the gap, and that would have been good, but there's still a long way to go. We still have to play them again, and there are a lot of games coming thick and fast. It's the same way as it was before, no closer, no further away." After the game, Michael Beale claimed that there is regret in the manner that they conceded the 2 goals, and claimed that it's now Celtic's title to throw away. He said, "It's the big games, it's the big moments, isn't it? I'm sure there will be a little bit of regret on both goals. More than a little bit of regret, we should do better. We are the home team as a group. When I worked with them previously, they prided themselves on clean sheets. That is the 3rd time we have let in 2 goals, so we are going to have to improve on that. Certainly in the big games at home, I'm not sure we are going to be able to let in 2 goals and not the 2 the way we did. That might seem harsh on the team, but that is the reality. It's now Celtic's title to throw away." Rangers fans, firstly, how many players do you think the club need to sign this winter? And what did you make of the result against Celtic? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. Please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you, I'll see you all next time. Take care, peace.